Good evening, friends. With millions of Americans at great risk of being evicted from their homes, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is now trying to pass more housing aid for millions of Americans. Cities across our nation are also now sending out federal relief money. So in this video, I will be sharing with you what cities are providing more financial assistance to their residents. This is your daily news update and Fort Stimulus Check update. Please, friends, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel for the daily stimulus updates and watch until the end of this video to learn how to enter this week's Walmart gift card giveaway. Progressive lawmakers are gaining much traction in a bid to preserve housing funding in Democrats' $2 trillion social spending package after negotiators early floated plans to slash the aid by 2/3. Democratic lawmakers and White House officials this past Friday were considering devoting between $150 billion and $175 billion of the bill to housing. While it would be a major cut from the $327 billion that was initially proposed, it's up from the $100 billion level that was on the table earlier last week. The number ticked up in the last few days after House Financial Services Chair Maxine Waters vowed to fight any deep cuts to housing money, which she had envisioned would support public housing repairs, rental assistance, and down payment aid. Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who had breakfast with President Biden on Friday, has pressed the White House to go along with additional housing funds, and this is according to two sources familiar with the matter. Pelosi's office declined to comment, but an office aide said she had consistently pushed for the highest possible sum for housing priorities. The White House is refusing to go above $150 billion for housing. The housing funding is just one of many areas of deep tension among Democrats as they try to scale back what was once a $3.5 trillion bill. And this is after moderates, including Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, balked at the spending.
Go ahead.
Well, on that, I get the idea that global leaders are sophisticated and watch our system closely. Would it be easier to convince the rest of the world to adopt these aggressive climate change proposals if he went there with the U.S. having done so already?
Well, Ed, as the president has said, it would be his preference. Yes, that's why we're pressing so hard. That's why the president has space in his schedule to move forward and move his economic agenda forward. But it is also important to note that we have made a significant amount of progress, and we are almost there, and that the president is on the verge. We are all on the verge of passing a bill that is the largest investment in addressing the climate crisis in history. And of course, global leaders take note of that too.
And is there, you don't have to name it necessarily, but are U.S. officials aware of a country, perhaps, that would adopt these changes if he showed up with the U.S. having done so?
Not that I'm aware of that are looking for a vote in order to move forward, no. There are some countries, as Jake noted, where they haven't finalized or they haven't maybe announced who is going to be traveling. That is true. It is also true that we were working through a variety of engagements on a couple of the topics that Jake mentioned, including the supply chain and other issues that are a priority to the president here at home, and we're working bilateral meetings around those as well. So it's nothing more than a typical lead up to a trip scheduling process, but there are some, of course, changes where some people are remote or we're looking for the final delegation.
Democrats are rushing to clinch a deal so they can put the legislation on the House floor next week. President Biden, during a White House meeting with lawmakers, discussed slashing the $327 billion in housing proposals to $100 billion, sparking resistance from progressive lawmakers who had fought for the aid. Congressional leaders then asked Maxine Waters' committee on Wednesday to begin drafting policies totaling $150 billion as housing advocates and industry lobbyists push for the top line to go higher still. According to the Capitol Hill aides, who cautioned that no numbers would be set in stone until the entire framework was finalized, the situation remains fluid. Diane Yentl, president and CEO of the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, said any cuts must not be at the expense of housing the country's lowest income people. She led 1,800 advocacy groups in a letter pushing congressional leaders to include more housing funding this very week. Yentl also stated, if done well, this could be the most consequential federal housing bill in our lifetimes. If done badly or not at all, it will be decades before we have this chance again. So friends, what are your thoughts on additional housing aid for the American people? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. There are several issues that are endangering New York's recovery. High inflation, significant labor shortages, and many other factors are placing more pressure on overburdened residents and employers. Upstate United has strongly supported the use of available federal funds to help employers address rising costs associated with unemployment insurance. At the height of this crisis, nearly 2 million New Yorkers were unemployed, and as a result, the state's unemployment insurance fund ran out of money, and New York ultimately borrowed nearly $12 billion from the federal government to cover its unemployment insurance payments. While some of that money has been repaid, New York still owes Washington $9 billion. So currently, the state's unemployment insurance fund must be replenished. New York has more than $12 billion in unspent federal aid that could be used to address this crisis. Providing unemployment insurance relief to employers will give them the opportunity to rehire workers and reinvest in their businesses. The key word for this video is cranberry. If you would like to enter this coming Friday's Walmart gift card giveaway, please click and like this video, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, and comment below today's keyword. Thank you so much, friends. In the city of Seattle, House leaders detailed a $3.65 billion spending package that would invest in housing, schools, hospitals, and workforce development, proposing to draw from last year's state budget surplus and over half of its American Rescue Plan Act funds to prop up workers, industries, and communities hurt by this crisis. The long-awaited plan to spend federal relief dollars gives the legislature flexibility to spend more at a later date, depending on if and where Congress directs additional spending. So friends, do you agree with me that cities and states should spend their federal crisis relief funds for the American people? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here this evening. I greatly and truly appreciate all of you who are watching my videos. Please don't forget to enter this Friday's Walmart gift card giveaway. All you have to do is click and like this video, comment below the keyword from this video, and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much, friends, and have a very blessed Tuesday.